Hello, Commanders, and welcome back to Elite Dangerous Return from Beagle Point. We are continuing our journey back to the bubble, having made our way all the way out to Beagle Point. The purpose of the trip was to do some exobiology, increase our rank to the elite status, which we still haven't done, even after several sellings of data. But we're still working on it. Hopefully we'll get it by the time we get back to the bubble. The other part of it was to also save up enough money to hopefully purchase a fleet carrier and take it back out into the black to do kind of, cool exploration stuff with all of our ships and everything there. Between us getting back and going back out into the black, there may be some variety content in there. We'll see how that all goes. If everybody seems to like that stuff better, then we may shelve the fleet carrier stuff. But for now, my plan is still to go back, mess around for a little bit, but ultimately purchase the fleet carrier, go back out into the black, and do some cool stuff. Maybe do a weekly live stream centered around moving our fleet carrier a couple of times, do a couple of jumps, stuff like that. Give you guys a way to kind of hop in and participate in the channel. Let's see, I'm trying to get ourselves where we can do our jump. Just for those of you who are just joining the series, we are currently located right here, on our way back to the bubble over here. Our entire journey was going all the way out to Beagle Point, which was way back over here, and we're most of the way back now. So, we got about 200 jumps to our next waypoint, and maybe another 100 jumps after that. I say that every time for everybody who's just joining in now, so if you're watching the series regularly, sorry for the repetition, but I have to assume that the majority of people watching these videos have never seen this series before. Lately, I haven't had much in the way of topics of discussion. I'm kind of just playing the game, and whatever pops into my mind, I'll talk about it. Right now, my focus is kind of on Path of Exile. They have the new Settlers of Kalgor league starting here, I think next week. So I'll be really focusing in on that. I do plan on trying to do a live stream of my grind through the campaign mode of that. So I ideally, actually, let me look and see what day the 26th is, because that's when that comes out. Give me just a second to look at that. 26th is actually a week from today. So yeah, if my schedule holds the way it normally holds. Did I? Where are we now? I'm just gonna go on to that. I got distracted. Did we jump or did we not? I don't remember. I've already spaced out. So ideally, next Friday, when the patch releases, as soon as I finish my regular videos for the day, I plan on, I don't have a specific time for when that's going to happen. The whole point of me doing YouTube and not focusing on streaming is that I don't want to lock myself down to a schedule. I want to be able to work when I want to work and not work when I have to work. And if I lock myself down to a schedule, then I have to be on during that time, and I just don't want to do that. But ideally, until we get through the campaign mode and I can hurry up and get into the Kalgor content, it'll be in the late afternoon, early evening, starting on Friday, and for however long I feel like playing, if I feel like playing. Like I said, I'm not making it a solid thing. It's just, I figure I'm gonna grind through it. I'm gonna stream it just so that those of you who want to watch that can watch it. A lot of it is just I know that there's going to be so many other people out there doing the same kind of content. I have no interest in seriously trying to compete with that. I don't have the audience to compete with that. And there's going to be a lot of people who are a lot better at the game, a lot more experienced at the game, who are going to be more interested in that. So I'm just streaming it mostly for fun, and anything that I'm doing that's mostly for fun, I don't want to turn it into work. I just want to do it. I just want to turn it into, hey, I want to grind this because I want to, quickly get into the league content, and you can't do that until you get through the campaign. So that's that. So yeah, starting Friday in the evenings-ish. If you're interested in watching me live stream that, be on the lookout. It'll pop up. It's not going to be scheduled. It's not going to be official. It's not going to be anything like that. It's just going to be me hopping on, and I'm going to stream it because I'm going to be doing it anyway. And I figure, those of you who are, followers of the channel, who enjoy the content that I produce, give you guys a chance to hang out and watch as we grind through that stuff. Because if I'm going to play it anyways, I might as well broadcast it. So yeah, that's the Path of Exile news. If you hadn't noticed, if you're not a channel member, or if you don't really follow my channel that much, I did start playing No Man's Sky. You know that those of you who have followed my channel for a while know that I have a couple of big issues with No Man's Sky. The first of it just being the insane complexity of the game. the crafting system in that game is just, what's the word I'm looking for? Legion. there's a lot of crafting. There's just jumping into the first part of the game overwhelms you with the crafting involved with it, at least for someone like me who's not super into crafting anyway. But the other part of it was just the fact that the game is just really cartoony, and I had a hard time getting into it because it's not really immersive for me if I'm hopping into the game and there's not a sense of realism to it. It's very arcadey. I guess that's the word I'm really looking for. It was really arcadey, and the graphics were really cartoonish. It didn't feel like real space travel. It was more like, it was almost anime-ish. The recent update that they just rolled out for the game is supposed to make it look a lot better. Maybe I'm a little bit confused and they haven't actually rolled that update out. I haven't noticed that the graphics are particularly better, but a lot of that could just be down to the fact that I don't have the hardware to run it at the settings that will allow it to look as good as it obviously is supposed to look. So I'm gonna stick with it for a while just because, you know, I had to pay for the game to get it and I spent the money on it, so we're gonna make some content out of it. But you know, I make no promises on that front unless you guys can motivate me to keep going on it. So whether I keep doing that series is likely going to be up to you guys. You know, if you guys give me an indication that, you know, you're really enjoying the content or you really want to see it continue forward, then, you know, for you guys, I'm willing to tough it out. But outside of that, we'll see. I'm not into games that have a lot of you know, side questy stuff or a lot of side mechanics. I just want to play the game and enjoy the parts of the game I want to play, which is, you know, space exploration, going and seeing cool stuff. And you know, if I can get by without having to do all kinds of craziness, you know, like, I have no interest in base building. I have no interest in crafting crazy items. It kind of annoys me that you have to go through and what am I looking for here? Oh, it kind of annoys me that you have to go through and, wow, everything else just kind of disappeared. So there were a bunch of arrows here, and then I got rid of one and it went away. That's weird. All right, well, let's go scan this water world. Get over here. We'll scan this water world and get that done. So, you know, I like it. I like games that have crafting systems that are optional. And from what I've seen in the couple of attempts that I've made to get through the initial starting part of the game, there's so much crafting that happens, and by the time I get to the end of it, I don't remember how to make anything that I made. Because it's great that it walks you through how to do all of it, but then by the time I get to the end of the first planet, and by the time I get into the second planet and all of that stuff, I don't remember how to make anything. So I end up having to relearn it all over again on my own, which is what I would have had to have done in the first place. So, you know, I think it's cool that they have these ideas where, you know, they have these extensive crafting systems that allow you to feel like you're participating in the game more, but it's, and to me personally, it's just a lot of extra busy work that I would rather not have to do. I'd rather it just be, you click on an item, say this is what I want to happen, and it tells you what materials you need to do it, and, you know, oh, sorry, I was trying to, whoa, not in the window. 6 pros, so we do one from behind, top, left, right, down, and right in front of us. As soon as the probe's ready, then we can hop out, select the next system with the keybind. You can find that in the menu. People always ask me when I do that, how you do that. There's a target next system and route keybind in the menu. So, you know, if there was a way, if I could streamline the process to where I can just click on an item that I want to do something to, select from a list of things that I would like to do to it, and it just automatically combines all materials and things like that, that would be great. That would take a lot of the annoyance out of that particular part of the game for me. But you know, they've placed a significant amount of focus on the crafting aspect of that game, and I think it probably because it caters to a demographic of people who enjoy that stuff. So expecting them to change that is unreasonable. So, but it is a big part of the reason why I pull back from No Man's Sky, because I'm not interested in crafting things. I'm interested in exploration. I'm interested in going on adventures. I'm interested in, you know, going out and doing things, and base building and crafting and all of that stuff. I have little to no interest in any of that. So it's just, they front load all of that into the beginning of the game, and it kind of turns me off every time I try to play it. Now, I understand that, you know, likely base building doesn't have to be a part of what you do. I imagine they probably just put that in there so that you're at least exposed to it, and you know it's an option. I'm kind of hoping that I don't have to do a bunch of base building stuff, because I'm not going to. But you know, when it's front loaded that way, and you don't really have an option to skip past it, it's like, this game is leaving a bad taste in my mouth. So, you know, that was one part of it, but they've supposedly addressed the other part of it, which was the cartoony graphics, and it's, you know, from what I saw on YouTube anyways, it seems to look a lot better. Doesn't look a lot better on my machine, because I don't have the hardware to run it at those settings, and run my recording software, and run my camera, and all these other things that take up a lot of video overhead. So it's just, you know, it's the reality of, you know, living in the world that we live in. Maybe, you know, once my channel grows and I'm able to, you know, I have enough extra cash to upgrade things and stay on top of keeping my hardware up to date, you know, that'll be a different thing. But in this early stage of my channel, it's just, I don't have the ability to do that. I mean, it's just the way that it is. You know, we all have to live in the reality that we live in until we're able to change it. Let's see, anything else I can think of that we need to talk about during, this video series is mostly just going to turn into me just talking about my channel and talking about things that are going on, talking about, you know, whatever pops into my head. But yeah, the Path of Exile stuff is, and you know, I did sign up for the Path of Exile 2 open beta, so we'll cross our fingers and hope that I get selected for that, because that would be a really great addition to the lineup of content that we are going to be making. No more. We're looking for. I jump back and forth between things as they happen in the game, so if just get used to me pausing on my topics while I say things. We're looking for high metal content planets that have 2 or more biological, or preferably just 2 biological signatures, because that gives us the highest chance of getting Stratum Tectonicus, which is the most expensive, or the highest paying biology in the game. Especially if you can get first footfall, you get like 90 million credits out of that. So I'm mostly just looking for that. If you want to see some really cool biology that we found, there was an episode where we found some hedral shaped, like hexagon shaped, I think they were hexagon or septagon shaped biological things. There was an episode in the back, it was labeled something like never seen this before or something like that. Had some really cool stuff. We've come across some really cool biology on our journey here, so be sure to go back and check out some of the older episodes if you want to see some of the cooler stuff that we found. But especially now that we're on our way back to the bubble, I'm mostly just trying to make as much money as I can before we finish the trip, and but also just not take forever to get back, because we're really close to our goal, and I don't want to spend too much time. I don't want to spend too much more time out here in the black. All right, so we have a water world here. We'll go ahead and go scan that as well. So let's see. These are high metal content worlds. Let's see. Okay, let's look at that one. Any more? So yeah, I'm really excited. I'm really excited for Path of Exile 2, because a lot of the issues that I have about Path of Exile 1, at least from what I've seen from the things that they're showing so far, are being addressed in Path of Exile 2. Most notably, a lot of the highly restrictive building of your class and things like that seem to be things that are going to be not quite as strict in the next game. Oh, okay, I forgot what we're doing. We're gonna go and scan. Oh, no, we're not. Next system. Didn't realize how far out that was. I have a limit of about 10,000 light seconds, and even then, a lot of times I'll blow off anything that's close to that, because it's just, that takes a long time to get over there. So we'll just move on to the next system. A water world isn't going to be worth nearly enough credits to justify flying 20,000 light seconds out there, especially because I don't have that, the new Super Cruise Overcharged Super Cruise thing didn't drop until we were well out into the black, and I just didn't have an option. There was no option for me to grab that. So, yeah, let's go ahead. We'll just move on to the next system and see if we can find something a little bit better. So, but, yeah, Path of Exile 2, hopefully, you know, I'll keep my fingers crossed. Typically, I don't have the kind of luck that allows me to get in on things that provide me with opportunities to do cool stuff like that. But, you know, you never know. Maybe we'll get lucky and get selected. I don't know how many players they're looking to get into this early. It's a closed. I believe it's a closed beta that they're going to do before the open beta that they're releasing later this year. I think that's how that's working. So ideally, it would be really cool if you know, it would be good for my channel if I could get into the closed beta, because it would give me early access to content ahead of other people, which, you know, would give me an edge. And as any content creator knows, you need as many edges as you can get if you want to have a really good chance of success. If you don't have any advantages over other people, then the odds of you making it big are pretty small. You have to have things that differentiate you, and getting access to something like that would make it would give me some level of differentiation. Let's see here. All right, I'm not seeing any more popping out that are easy and obvious, so we're just going to move on. So yeah, big things right now are just the, you know, the No Man's Sky playlist that I'm doing, the Path of Exile update that we're gonna do. Like I said, I'm gonna do the live stream. I'm gonna try to do a live stream. I gotta make it very clear. Whenever I say the word live stream, it's very, very conditional upon my internet connection. I am currently running on a T-Mobile home internet, which, you know, for 99% of the things that I need to do is just fine. It downloads very quickly. It uploads relatively quickly, depending on you know, the towers that I'm near. But the stability of the connection tends to be kind of spotty, and the upload rate is definitely kind of spotty, especially if I'm uploading large amounts of data all at one time, and I can get really seriously throttled. And, you know, it makes it impossible to do any kind of live streaming. So we'll give it a try, but I'm not making any promises on that, because it's just the type of internet service that I have is just not it's not super reliable. And as far as I'm aware, they don't have a streamer option that gives you priority for uploads. That you can, you know, buy a package or whatever, and it gives you priority uploads and things like that. I'm not aware of anything like that. So, you know, it's a big question mark for me. I can't promise that there'll be a live stream. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna put it up. But if it becomes too much of a pain in the butt to try to keep it running, constantly getting disconnected, or, you know, I'm dropping massive amounts of data because it's just I'm not getting the bandwidth that I need to be able to run the video or whatever, then we'll drop it, and I'll just grind on my own. I'd love to be able to grind it as I'd love to be able to grind the campaign for it, you know, speeding through the campaign as quick as I can. I'd love to be able to grind that on stream as a lead up into starting my Settlers of Caligor content, but I have no control over whether that's actually going to be an option or not. Is there some... Okay. Yep, all the hot... Wait, hold on a second. What are these? Oh, asteroid clusters. I thought that's what those were. The ranges, the frequency ranges for most of this stuff is always pretty thin, so I assumed that those little ones over there to the left were just asteroids, but my brain kind of was like, wait, check. Just make sure you check. As far as my hunting content goes, if you're watching this video, I highly doubt you watched any of my hunting content. I'm still not motivated to really hop back into that yet. You know, it was a significant portion of my view count, but at the same time, I'm kind of burnt out on it for a while, so I don't know when or if I'll be returning to that series. As I've stated in the past, I don't really want to lock my channel down into one thing, or even just one kind of thing. You know, it has primarily been a gaming channel, but, you know, I don't necessarily want to lock myself into that either, because I don't always feel like playing video games. And So I'm kind of hoping that I can get to the point where enough people enjoy the way I present content that I can start branching out into a bunch of different things, and then, you know, in any given day I can just decide, oh, I want to do gaming today, or oh, I'm going to do React content today, or, you know, whatever else it is I end up doing. The ability to have variety in what you're doing is key when you're trying to do something long term. Video games can only sustain you for so long before people get bored with that stuff. So being able to have some other things that I do is hopefully a good strategy to making it so that my channel A, grows faster, and B, has some longevity to it. It's just, you know, I got to try to figure out something. You can't just do the same thing over and over again. You gotta have some different stuff that you're doing. I think we need to start looking for a planet to land on, because we're into the 20-minute mark now. So we'll start looking out for some planets to land on, or if we find any biology at all. Once we get past the 20-minute mark, I'm usually like, if I find any biology at all, we're gonna go land there and get that, because even a single biological source is better than landing on a planet that has nothing. So we'll see. So the next couple of systems, I'll be a little bit more thorough about doing scans, and we'll see if we can find something to land on. And hopefully, something will have some biology on it, and that'll be good.
Fuel sweeping complete.
Good. Get outside of the star's influence, slow down. There's some high metal content stuff here, and it's a relatively low density system, meaning there's not that many bodies in it. So that's always a good thing. I mean, I'd say it's always a good thing, but it's a good thing for me because it's less numbers of bodies that I have to scan. Okay, here we go. So we're going to target that, and then if I don't find anything better, right, everything else is behind a star. So we're going to target that. We're going to super cruise towards that for a second. And then once we get a little bit further away from the star, I'll stop and check out those other bodies, but I don't anticipate actually doing anything with that because they're icy bodies, and we're not going to find, unless I find like 2 or 3 or whatever, 2 or 3 bodies, or 2 or 3 biological sources, it's not going to be really worth, yeah, there's only one. Nothing there. And nothing there. So we're just going to keep going towards the one that we're already going towards. So we'll get over there, we'll do our scan. It's going to be bacteria. We'll glide down, get our scans done, and land and call it a day. I guess while we're going there, I'll try to think of something. I don't really have much else. Going on as far as the channel is concerned. I was playing a couple of I don't want to say JRPGs, but kind of like they're gacha games. I don't really understand that term fully 100%, but they're Korean or Japanese, or they're Asian games, Wuthering Waves and Honkai Star Rail, which are great games. I was enjoying playing them for the most part, but why am I at 3/4 throttle? I was enjoying playing them, but the deal breaker for me is the arbitrary requirement that I have to do side quests. There's no option to bypass that, because if you only do the main story quests, it doesn't level you up fast enough to continue doing just the main storyline. So they have it set up in such a way that you level up slow enough that you pretty much have to go do all the little side questy stuff, or you're just not going to progress. And, you know, that's a way to go, but it turns off people like me who have no interest in 100% exploration, who don't like being forced to have to go look at every little thing because the designers want you to go look at it. It's like, no, I've mentioned this before. I grew up reading fantasy novels, and I want one story that I follow, and I want to follow that story. And that's how I like to play my video games as well. The best games to me are games that have a main story, and you can follow that main story, and the side quests are just something that you do if you feel like it. But both of those games, the developers clearly have this desire that they created this content and you're going to go play it. And that really bugs me because I'm interested in the main story. That's what I want. I have no interest in all this little side questy stuff that they want me to go do. So I've more or less discontinued my playthrough of those 2 series because they both ran into, you can't continue with the main storyline until you reach level blah blah blah. And it's not just like 1 level or 2 levels, it's like 5 or 6 levels, and I'm not interested in doing that. You know, the grind for a game should happen at the end, not in the middle of it, and that really bugs me that they did it that way. So, you know, they're free to do that. I'm not criticizing them because they chose to do that. I'm just saying that personally, I have no interest in playing a game that has things set up that way. It's just not something I'm interested in. All right, let's get down here. We'll go scan for some. We'll go find ourselves some bacterial signatures. Or find ourselves some bacterial sources, get those scanned, and then call it a day. So I don't think I have anything else to talk about. So if you're done, you can be done, I guess. We're just going to spend the last of this little trying to find out. We're going to find out what kind of bacteria is on the planet, and then just grab a couple and be done.
Orbital flight engaged.
Have to. I'm having a hard time hearing the engine noises, so it's making it difficult to figure out how fast I need to go. I have my volume turned up. I feel like the volume on my video games is slowly getting lower and lower, and I'm having a harder and harder time hearing them. Okay. So ideally, this is going to be super flat ground, which will make it easy to find. Bacteria, because bacteria almost always only shows up on like relatively flat surfaces. This is not a good thing. I am going to go ahead and use the night vision trick. It does not highlight bacteria. No. Up. The night vision does not highlight the contours of bacteria. It doesn't highlight it at all, but because everything else tends to be somewhat green, the patches will stand out when you're flying around because they're not highlighted. So if we're lucky, we'll find a patch or 2, but unfortunately, this particular planet seems to be too wrinkled to make finding the bacteria super easy. And also, if the bacteria is not a sufficiently different color... Thought I saw something that looked like bacteria. Okay, that is bacteria, but it's kind of hard to tell because the color is making it sort of blend in the background, and they're also not that... The size of the patches aren't all that big either, so that's making it a little bit... It's making it a little bit hard to find. That's okay. We'll grab ourselves this one. I'll try flying around without the night vision on and see if that makes them easier to spot. Bacterium informum lime. I think that's actually one of the more higher paying ones. Informum, as far as bacteria goes. I think it is. Okay, yeah, it's a little easier to because it's green. The night vision's actually making it harder to spot, so let's see if flying around this way will make them easier to see. I mean, the other part is that we actually need to find some relatively flat area for it to actually... No, that wasn't it. Here we go. Some right here. Okay. Grab this. All right, one more and then we can be done. Continue off in this direction. I think some of you probably watch me because I fly really close and fast to the ground. You guys keep waiting for me to crash and have something stupid and catastrophic happen to me, which is definitely a possibility. I am very impatient, so there is always a chance that I do something. It wouldn't be the first time that I've crashed into the ground and died because I got impatient and was flying too fast. So, anyways, we're going to go ahead and call this an episode. Hopefully you guys had lots of fun. Be sure to click that like button if you did so that the YouTube algorithm will know, and send the video out to as many people as possible. If you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing now so that when the next video comes out, it will show up in your feed and you'll be able to watch it as soon as it becomes available. Channel members get early access to all of my content, so be sure to click that join button, check out the list of options available there, and decide if any of those are right for you. If you're not interested in a channel membership but would like to support the channel, you can always leave YouTube's version of a tip with that thanks button. Direct contributions are greatly appreciated and a critical component to helping to turn this channel into a full-time gig, which obviously is the dream. So again, thank you very much for your time. Hope you guys enjoyed the flight. Be sure to come back for the next one, and I'll see you then.